Hello everybody and welcome to Tesha Foundation. Today I am here to continue with our lesson on road accident. You know, throughout this period we have been talking about how we can manage to reduce road accidents happening around the world and Cameroon in particular. Thousands of people are going into their early graves and many people are afraid to travel from one place to another because of a road accident. And what are the causes of this road accident? We came to discover that if human causes of road accident contribute to at least 80% of the numerous road accidents happening in Cameroon every week and taking away lives. And we have been talking about how the driver can struggle by all possible means to reduce the road accident. And today we are here to continue in that aspect of human causes of road accident. And we'll be talking about the bad behaviors that drivers should avoid while driving. And one of it is overspeeding. Overspeeding has just become a culture, a tradition, and a fashion that many people celebrate it, which is wrong. Overspeeding of a vehicle is dangerous to the driver and the passengers and everything, even the cars and even the road. And then we say traveling at high speeds, it leaves you vulnerable to an accident. It leaves you vulnerable to an accident. And it's something you have to know is that what might look very clear in front of you, the pathway or the route is look very clear in front of you. Something can happen suddenly. That obstacle will appear, like a child jumping into the road, pedestrians running into the road, animals running into the road, or other vehicles coming from nowhere that you don't expect. So we are calling upon you to avoid overspeeding a vehicle. Don't say my vehicle is still new, you have to test it, you have to do this. Don't say you have experience. Those are foolishness, they are not experienced. If you are acting that way, then you are stupid. And we are calling upon you to avoid that and change your We talk about the second thing, the impact behavior that driver have to avoid while driving is driving a vehicle when you are tired or fatigued. That is driving while fatigued. You have to avoid it. Meaning if you are tired, if you are feeling asleep, you have to stop. You should not drive. It's better for you not to travel that day than to travel in dangers, than to risk your life. Because going out in that kind of condition is just like somebody going on a suicide mission. Because you are not sure. If you arrive your destination, if you have been doing that and arriving your destination safely, it is by the grace of God. It is not because of experience, it's not because of anything. So you have to avoid it, change your mentality positively and avoid such, because it's dangerous to the route, it's dangerous to those who are carrying. They don't know who you are, they don't know the condition of your health, your physical condition, your emotional condition and everything about you. So they are just there ignorantly. So if anything happens that they die, just know that you are equal to a killer and their blood are on your head. So you have to avoid such things. If you are tired, be honest and say you are tired. It is not everything. Don't say you have to manage. There is nothing managing on the highway. All the road accidents we have been seeing as a result of managing. And we have seen drivers sleeping on the steering. We have seen drivers tired and there is no way they can go. And we are calling upon to agencies, owners of a company, traveling agency, that they have to struggle by all possible. Everything is not about money. To employ at least 2 or 3 drivers in each 70 or 30 seater that is traveling from Douala, Bamenda, Yaoundé, other places, long distance places. 2 of such drivers should be inside in order that when one is tired, the other one should take over. Somebody should not run the 2, be driving alone. It's so dangerous. And we have to be honest. The driver, if you are tired, before leaving your house every day, you have to check yourself whether you are physically, emotionally, mentally fit to drive. Don't just jump into the road believing that you arrive safely. It is dangerous and risky for everybody. We are pleading on you and each and everyone to change his or her mentality. If you are sitting on the wheel to drive or on the steering, you have to change your mentality positively and be honest to yourself. Be sincere and be conscious of everything and avoid driving while you are tired. When your body is tired, or pain, you are feeling any pains anywhere, your attention obviously will be shifted to your feeling. If it is as you are feeling as to sleep, your attention will be shifted toward that, and you will concentrate, your brain will concentrate. It's not all about holding the steering and using your leg. It is also mental. Your mentality is affected. Everything is affected. So it's not all about. When your attention is shifted, you are on a mission, a suicide mission. So we have to change our mentality positively. Hello everybody and welcome to Tasha Foundation. I am here today to continue with our lesson on road accidents. All this period we have been focusing on how we can reduce road accidents in our home country Cameroon and even in the whole world, because every day people are dying and property being destroyed, and not many people are afraid to travel from one place to another because of the numerous road accidents happening every week. And we all are confused. We do not know what to do, but we have been presenting some lessons that can help us reduce road accident. And last period we have been talking about human causes of road accident, and today we will be focusing still on human causes of road accident, and that is how can passengers reduce road accident, help to reduce road accident. Passengers are those who usually sit in the vehicle. They are not drivers. Those are the passengers. And how can you as a passenger reduce road accident? We say first is don't be a distraction to the driver. As a passenger, you should not be a distraction to the driver. You need to avoid situation where you becomes the focal point rather than the route. You should not be the distraction. The driver should not focus on you. There are a lot of things people usually discuss, and then many drivers have turned to always reserve the seat beside them to their relatives or friends so that they will be discussing playing and laughing while he is driving, the car is in motion. It is wrong. It is usually written in many vehicles that do not talk to the driver. That is not a stupid statement. It is not just there for formula, for form. It is there for a purpose. So there is a reason behind it. So you do not have to talk with the driver. And many people are taking it just lightly, and they have been playing over it, doing all sort of things, discussing, and it's a serious issue. Know that there are issues that you can tell the driver why the driver is driving, and the driver will become emotionally disturbed. And when the driver is emotionally disturbed, everybody is in danger. So you have to avoid talking to the driver. You have to avoid by all possible means talking to the driver while the vehicle is in motion. Second point is limit how much you use your telephone beside the driver. This is because it makes the driver, it calls the attention of the driver, and the driver naturally as a human being will desire also to use his or her own telephones, which in using the telephone you know the consequences. So you have to stop. If you are sitting closer to the driver, you have to limit the way you use your telephones, because it will make the driver jealous and force the driver to take his or her own telephones in order to use. The third point is you have to assist with navigation. You have to assist the driver with navigation. Many drivers use their telephones. I've been saying that they are using the telephone in order to navigate to their destination. And then that is how they usually defend themselves, which is wrong. You as a passenger, if you are in a vehicle, you have to help the driver with this. It will be best for a passenger to help with the navigation. You have to use the telephone to locate to identify where you are going. You have to. Those are the things you can help the driver with. And the driver with this will help the driver not to be using the phone frequently or use the phone at all. So you have to help. These are the things that you can do in order to help reduce road accident. You also can call the driver to others. There are some drivers that are very careless over the vehicle. They are playing over it. They are talking with relatives. If you are in such vehicle, you have to call the driver to order. So you have the right to do it. Call the driver to orders. And many people usually say, we have been doing it and the driver will not listen. You do it, the driver will become angry. You do it, the driver, you have the right to do it. And if the driver becomes angry, then you go to the next point, which is reporting stubborn driver to police at checkpoint. When you arrive checkpoint, you go there and report the driver to the police that this driver is serious. It is very careless. These are the things that he has been doing. You report the driver to the police at checkpoint, or you arrive there in the agency. You report the driver to the managers. You have the right to do it. And many people are saying, we have been doing it and there is nothing. Keep on doing it. One day something will happen. They usually take such things into consideration. But bribery will cover them. But one day you will report it to the right person. And that will be adjusted. That is what we have to be doing as passengers. Step out of the vehicles. That is another point. Out of any overloading vehicles. Or vehicles on high speed. Or vehicle with a stubborn driver. You have the right to ask the driver to stop the vehicle for you to step up. It's better for you not to arrive at your destination on time than to arrive in the hospital or the mortuary. So you have to change your mentality. It is time for us, the passenger, to take decisions and be disciplined. If we do not discipline ourselves and discipline the drivers, we will all be in danger. And all the things happening in our society will keep on happening. We have to do all these things in order to help reduce road accidents in our society, in our country, Cameroon. So you have the right to do it, to take your life into your hands. So if you are traveling and you are the one contributing in overloading, your goods must travel. You must go. There is no space. They say you sit on the floor, you are sitting. Then know that you are contributing to the road accident. We should struggle by all possible means to reduce road accident. You fight and do it. Step out of the vehicles. Report stubborn drivers. Don't pretend at checkpoint to cross the checkpoint as a hawker. In order to avoid, and after the checkpoint you enter the overloaded vehicle, you should avoid doing that. You should avoid doing that. We should help reduce road accident. The vehicles we are using in Cameroon, keep on saying, they are second-hand vehicles. Some are vehicles that are not to be used anywhere in the world, but people keep on using it. So we have to avoid it. 70 seaters in Cameroon are supposed to carry about 50 or 30 people, not 70 people, but we will overload it as passengers. You just want to go. You don't care what will happen. So we are calling upon you to change your mentality positively and hold on to and save the lives of those traveling with you. If you are willing to die, not everybody is willing to die. Thank you. Another aspect of life, a bad behavior that is very common everywhere, that out of 10 vehicles, you will see a vehicle violating and practicing that particular issue, bad behavior, is using telephone while driving. Many people have just become so addicted to their telephones in such a way that I cannot stay for 1 minute without using it. And if you are a driver with that kind of habit, then you are not qualified to be called a driver. You are not qualified to drive any vehicle. The problems of telephone begins when an email or when an incoming calls or text or emails or social medias is coming in. It has taken your attention. That is when the problem started. Because when these things are happening, when an incoming call is coming, you have to use one of your hands to answer the calls. And also you have to use your eyes to look at the screen of the telephone. All these things will shift your attention from concentrating on the side mirrors, from concentrating on the highway, on the road that you are driving, from concentrating on the steering into the telephones. And all these are ways through which many accidents are occurring in our side. When you ask some driver, they say they are using it to locate to navigate around, to move around, and also to get to their destination. Especially those who are straying in that environment. That is wrong. That is wrong. There are ways you can do it. You have to park your car somewhere. You check your location of at least a meter away ahead. And when you cover that distance and you are confused of it, you stop your vehicles again. You check. If you have an incoming call, You are there with your telephone that you cannot keep it, you cannot off it, you cannot do anything. You have to stop the vehicles and answer your telephones. And then you have to let your people, everybody related to you, to know that you do not take calls while driving. So nobody calls you and nobody. And you should discipline yourself. All is about discipline. If you do not discipline yourself, there is no way you are going to fulfill all these things. You will keep on doing it and doing it until one day you will find yourself in the grave, or you will cause many people to die unconsciously, unmerited death. So you have to change your mentality. Don't bring anybody blood upon your head. We are pleading unto you that you have to avoid your telephone. You have to avoid your mobile phones. Inform all your relatives, your friends, when you are on the steering, when you are about to go to take out your vehicles, you have to call those you have to call. Immediately you have to either you keep your phones on silent. That will help us in this society. A few seconds looking at your telephone screen is all it takes for you to involve yourself in an accident. Maybe that cause is coming in when you have to take a vent. Unconsciously, because of how you are so connected to your telephone, you will just turn to take, and then you find yourself having an accident because you were supposed to take a vent. Maybe there is something, an obstacle in front, an incoming cause is coming. Some driver even concentrate on Facebook, on YouTube, watching videos while driving. That is wickedness. That is wickedness. And we are calling upon you to change your mentality positively in order to save lives, in order to reduce the numerous deadly road accidents we are having every day in our home country, Cameroon. We have to change our mentality.
The clip is short, but long enough for you to see a CMS bus driver scrolling on her phone, tapping the screen, both hands on the phone, not the...
We talk about the next point you have to avoid is unnecessary confidence. Driver has developed some kind of confidence in them, maybe because they have been used to the steering for many years. Whether you have been driving for 30 years, you do not have to have confidence in yourself. Know that you are on the highway where many people, you might have confidence in yourself, but the next person using the route might not be experienced. And that will lead you into an accident. The person can cause you to involve yourself in an accident. Don't involve yourself in overspeeding because you have confidence that you have been running on high speed without having an accident. Don't overload your vehicle because you have been doing that without involving yourself in an accident. Don't leave your house without checking your vehicles because you have confidence that the vehicle is still new. No, every day check your vehicle before leaving the house. Every day you should check yourself whether you are qualified and fit to drive a vehicle before leaving the house. If you do this, and every day you are going in as a new driver, every day you are going in as fresh, not as usual, not just getting up as if you have a store to go in without checking yourself, without checking the vehicles. All those things you have to put. A driver is not like a businessman. A driver is not like any other occupation. A driver is somebody that is dealing with thousands of lives. You carry to transform many people from one place to another, passing through dangerous route. If you are not conscious, all these people will die. And that is what has been happening because of our confidence, useless confidence, unnecessary confidence. You have to change your mentality. That every day before leaving your house, you have to check yourself first whether you are emotionally fit, you are physically fit, you are mentally fit to drive a vehicle. Every day before leaving your house, you have to check your vehicles, whether the brake is okay, the tires are okay. Every day you have to, before leaving your house, don't say, my vehicle is new, or I have been driving for many years. I just take your keys, I'm going out without doing any check-up. You have to do that. Unnecessary confidence. Don't involve yourself in unnecessary things, answering calls while driving because you have confidence in yourself. There is no confidence in driving. You have to know that. And we have to do it. We have to discipline ourselves in order to save the life of many. Many are dying, going into the early grave because of the carelessness of drivers, because of the carelessness of the drivers. We have to change our mentality if you want to call